Guys, I can verify this problem myself because I have been bombarded more than ever before by this type of attack, and I'm even more susceptible probably than the average holder of XRP or crypto, whatever, to this attack because I make public videos, right? People know that I own XRP, they know that I use wallets, blah, blah, blah. So narrowing people like me down, also I have a public email address and everything, and having people or giving people opportunity to send me messages specifically is going to encourage these hackers. However, because I've been here for such a long time, not just in crypto, but in technology generally, I have a kind of sixth sense for this sort of stuff that maybe other people that are not as savvy technologically or haven't seen enough of them might not be able to discern. I am constantly going through, for instance, the emails that are sent to my parents to make sure that some of them are not, this sort of attack. And it's not just crypto, it's kind of concerning everything, right? Anything to do with financial, whatever. Whenever these hackers can take advantage of you, they will. Zero emotions, zero soul. They have no remorse. They're cold, dangerous people. And it is so serious now more than ever before that John Deaton, the XRP friendly lawyer or crypto friendly lawyer, has issued an urgent warning, all right, to users of the internet generally and, crypto holders, NFT holders, private wallet holders, blah, 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 about these scammers and their techniques that they use. I wonder if, being a crypto friendly attorney and quite a public figure, he probably has also been getting more than his fair share of these scamming attacks, just like myself, right? So I hope he hasn't fallen for them because something has moved him to issue this warning to the cryptoverse, right? To warn people that scammers use fake emails, ads, and YouTube comments to steal credentials and exploit digital assets. And then he mentions his NFT holders that face a particular attack on their wallets. And he emphasizes the use of two-factor authentication and being cautious to safeguard your crypto assets. Now, as we're achieving or approaching, mass adoption and a lot of newbies coming into crypto, I'm finding more and more that people are asking me very simple questions about the things that we used to know back in the day that are now, new to them, right? Which is, they're not to be blamed. They haven't been around that long. They're new. They've got to learn, right? And the cool thing though is that right now in this day and age, it is a lot easier than it used to be in 2017 or 2015 to secure your crypto. And the kind of attacks that we used to have weren't really attacks. The way that people used to lose their crypto back in those days were forgetting your key phrase or handing your key phrase to somebody else and they stole your money, or you transferring funds to a completely different crypto address that you thought than you thought you were sending it to. And these crypto addresses are probably maybe a typo, one character different, or someone did a bait and switch on you or something, some kind of attack to try and get you to send to an address that is actually different from what you're looking at. All those attacks have been cut down somewhat by modern technology. You have all these double checks now that the exchanges do. Sometimes the exchanges would check the address and tell you, oh, this is a wrong address. Sometimes they require you to whitelist an address. So you'd have it in an address book. There's now technology to send to an email address or pseudonym, or like projects like Nimic have these really super easy user-friendly codes that you can use, even though at the back they're just as sophisticated as any other crypto key. So now there's a lot of technology to try and help you, stop you from making rookie mistakes like that, right? But as those technologies advance and make things more user-friendly, the hackers also are getting more sophisticated. It's always an arms race when it comes to these things. So if you want to read the whole warning that John Deaton put out, if you just go to his X account, it is the one called A Crypto Warning. It's got this big red, danger signs right next to them. And it's actually quite good, right? And he even gives a personal anecdote that's actually quite funny. I mean, it's funny, except that, it's not really funny, but, the concept is funny. And, some of these things for some of you guys with, veteran eyes, if you're savvy at tech, they seem obvious to you, but they're not obvious to most users of the internet, right? A lot of users of the internet don't know anything about spoofing. They don't realize that sometimes you see a piece of text, but if you hover over it, it says something completely different. It tags a different person. It uses a 1 instead of an I, it uses a 0 instead of an O. All of these things are used to try and trick you. So crypto has got so good that the only way sometimes that hackers are able to steal your crypto is to socially engineer you, to get you to make a mistake, to try and, getting a certain way. Another way to try to do it sometimes is to take over your device, and they can take over your device if they have enough information about you. So they'll send you an email mail, for instance, and ask you, oh, we're going to send you some gift or whatever. You've won this and that item. And when you click on it, it steals all your cookies. If you have a session cookie that allows you to log in onto your wallet, perhaps they can use that to log into your exchange. For instance, some people that use Binance or Coinbase, they give you the ability to log in automatically. And sometimes that would use a session key. And if they can steal that by you clicking on something and someone taking control of your computer remotely, they've got your crypto. One thing that could probably help prevent that or protect you momentarily is for you to have at least a two-factor authentication set up. So not on the same machine, maybe you have a Google, some sort of authenticator app on a phone somewhere. Usually Google Authenticator is quite a good one. There are other authentication apps. Just make sure it's a legit one as well. Usually some people would have a text message sent to an SMS, but even that is not so safe anymore because we know they can spoof the SMS. Again, if they get your number, they get your address, they can basically, while you're asleep, they can call your ISP, call your phone company, have the details changed, redirect your text somewhere else. Or if they have someone on the inside, they could do that on their behalf if they're in collaboration with the hackers. So there are so many ways that they can get past some of the, security things that we think we have, our passwords, etc. Obviously, passwords as well are easy to hack these days. A lot of people just write their passwords down on a notebook and then save it on their computer. Absolutely crazy. So the bottom line is, no matter how secure and savvy that we think we are, there are expert hackers. They know backdoors, they know day one exploits to software. They can cause a buffer overrun and then take over your machine. An example of that is, the North Korea's heist with malware and all sort of things, right? There is an article you can read. I can leave this also in the description. And it talks about how North Korea's Lazarus Group, which is a growing threat apparently, are cyber criminals that were able to steal and hack into some of, South Korea stuff, got into some Chinese stuff, they got into some European stuff and some American stuff. These guys are deadly. That's because, they are a group of state-sponsored experts that have a collection of day one exploits and buffer overrun code that they can use to take over machines. They have malware distributed around the world. They have phishing attack experts that can send emails to, it only takes one person in an organization to fall for a phishing attack and they can infect the whole organization. And, from there, they can steal a whole bunch of databases that include, unfortunately, your details that these companies are KYC in, and they're not protecting your information appropriately. They're leaving your information, your name, your address, your password, etc. on open, unencrypted plain text databases on their machines. And these state-sponsored hackers can get into those machines, get your details, and hack your stuff from behind. There are centralized exchanges that have been hacked in the past, and tokens have been lost, even though some of those offer a very limited amount of protection. Again, remember, not your keys, not your crypto. But nowadays, when you get on Coinbase, Binance, etc., you're made to take these little quizzes, and if you read those quizzes and look at the answer carefully, it says that those exchanges may be hacked, and in that case you're not protected. So if an exchange were to be hacked and you have your crypto sitting on there, chances are you've lost your crypto. So they're not regulated and controlled in the same way as the high street banks that have, the obligation to give you some of your money back, whether it's go bankrupt, you're protected to a certain amount. Especially here in the UK, regulations are different in different countries. Well, these crypto exchanges are not obliged to do any of that. There's no regulation saying that they should do that. There's some regulation that's going to be coming in, but as far as we are now, most parts of the world, not your keys, not your crypto. So be very, very careful. So shout out to John Deaton for reaching out to the community. I hope he hasn't been hacked or he hasn't lost any crypto. But unfortunately, this is going to be happening a lot in the bull market. These hackers are a lot more active in the bull market because, of course, it makes sense. There's a lot more money in the system, a lot more people doing crazy things. People are more likely to fall for scams, fake airdrops. They know there's going to be a lot of newbies and people FOMOing into accounts and using DeFi and all of these things. The hackers are going to be having a bonanza when it comes to this. So XRP Army, if you've been holding for 7 years, you're not going to lose your XRP to some hacker now, are you? Take care of yourself, do your own research, and be safe. Peace.